Hey Dan, I'm kind of sick right now and have procrastinated coming up with what I was going to talk about for most of the day. And then it hit me that I really should talk about parenting, especially this phenomenon that happens today where I feel like masculinity has been subjugated and declined in relationship to femininity. And then I realized that I don't want to have to think that hard, and that's difficult, and I'm lazy. And so at dinner time I asked my daughter what I should make a video about, and she said, with so much glee, applesauce! So today, the video is going to be about the history of applesauce. Now, there's not a whole lot known about applesauce, but we can figure out some details based upon some historical records. The first official use of the word applesauce together was in 1769. It appeared in Eliza Smith's 9th edition of The Complete Housewife. The purpose of the applesauce was to be paired with a duck, but applesauce takes its origins much earlier in time. Foodtimeline.org has applesauce going as far back as the Middle Ages. There's a recipe from 1390 written in Old English for apple mousse. Infobarrel.com has a brief history of applesauce, and they claim that applesauce was primarily a German food, as the Germans still call it, Apfelmus was primarily meant to be paired with meats. What I seem to be getting at here is that if there's not a steaming pile of pork or beef in your applesauce, you failed. Now, that's all I could find about applesauce. That's the whole history of applesauce. Middle Ages, and some Germans, and then, that recipe from Britain, and, then Wikipedia tells me you can buy it at the grocery store. Wikipedia also states that applesauce makes a really great home remedy for diarrhea. But I looked into the science of it, and as far as I could tell, using applesauce as a remedy for diarrhea seems to be shit. But yeah, so I got nothing else. So I figure, let's make some applesauce. Now, the first thing you're going to do when making applesauce is to make sure you've got yourself a really nice apple. Here's our apple. It's more of a potato apple, but now the first thing you're going to do is to core your apple. There we go. Uh-oh. Now you're going to want to dice your apple into like fine cubes, basically. Alright, that looks good. So now we need to boil some water. Kind of mound them up on your on your chopping board, and we're just going to take them right on over here. Kind of cram them on in there. Those good apples. You need one of these things, and you're like gonna mush it. Apples are naturally sweet, but you're going to want to add some sugar of your own. Usually about a cup, which I find is that much. And then just use this thing again to stir down some more. Cinnamon. I mean, that looks like cinnamon. And so we're just gonna add. There we go. Some cinnamon, and then one last stir. You just kind of dump it in there. And so yeah, I mean, that's basically all there is to it. Applesauce is really easy to make at home, and it's much cheaper than at the store. I like to put it in a tiny little bowl. It's just endearing, and you will take yourself a big old scoop of applesauce. Delicious! Alright, for your challenge, I would like you to write a children's story, kind of the illustrated variety. You don't have to illustrate it, but very short, snappy prose, quick move through, shouldn't be very long. But I want it to be a story that has not been written before, that's like funny and charming, and yeah, so I'm gonna go brush my teeth again.